Hello, everyone. Tonight's story is about a man who started receiving letters from someone who knew his future. And it all began at midnight. Daniel lived alone in a small apartment on the third floor of an old building. He liked the quiet. No roommates, no noise, no surprises. At least, that's what he thought. One night, at exactly 12:03 a.m., he heard a soft sliding sound, like paper brushing against wood. He opened his bedroom door and saw an envelope lying on the floor near his front door. No knock, no footsteps. Just a plain white envelope with his name written neatly on the front. Daniel. No last name. Just Daniel. He opened it. Inside was a small folded paper. It read, "Do not take the elevator tomorrow." That was it. No signature. No explanation. He almost laughed. Probably a prank. But the next morning, when he left for work, he paused. The elevator doors were open, waiting. He hesitated, then chose the stairs instead. Halfway down, he heard a loud metallic crash echo through the building. The elevator cable had snapped. No one was inside. But it would have been him. That night, at exactly 12:03 a.m., another envelope slid under his door. This one read, "Call your sister." Daniel hadn't spoken to his sister in months. They argued often, but something about the letter felt different now. He called her. She answered in tears. She had been in a minor car accident earlier that evening and didn't know who else to call. From that night on, the letters continued. Always at 12:03 a.m., always short, always accurate. Leave 5 minutes early. Take the longer route. Do not trust the man in blue. Every instruction protected him from something small or something serious. Daniel began relying on them, waiting for midnight, depending on the envelope. But one night, the letter changed. At 12:03 a.m., the envelope arrived as usual. He opened it slowly. This one was longer. It read, "Stop reading the letters." He frowned. Why would it tell him that? He waited for more words. There were none. The next night, no letter came. 12:03 a.m. passed. Silence. He felt uneasy. At 12:10 a.m., he checked the hallway. Nothing. At 12:30 a.m., he sat by the door. Still nothing. For the first time in weeks, he had no guidance, no warning. The next morning, he went to work without instruction. The day felt heavier, uncertain, and that night, at exactly 12:03 a.m., the envelope returned. But this time, it was thicker. Inside were multiple pages, all dated weeks into the future. Each page described events, arguments, missed opportunities, regrets. And at the very last page, it read, "You become too dependent." Daniel's hand shook. The letters had been helping him, protecting him. But now, they were predicting his weaknesses. He flipped to the final sentence. "If you continue reading, you will never choose for yourself again." Midnight passed. Silence. No more envelopes. No more sliding sound. Days turned into weeks. Nothing came. Daniel stopped waiting by the door. Stopped checking the hallway. He began making his own decisions again. Some were wrong. Some were right. But they were his. One evening, months later, he opened his front door after work and noticed something strange. There was no gap beneath his door anymore. The building management had replaced the frame. There had never been enough space for an envelope to slide through. Daniel stood there quietly, thinking. Had there ever been letters at all? Or had he written them himself, trying to feel in control of a life that felt uncertain? That night, at 12:03 a.m., he didn't hear anything. But for a moment, he thought he heard paper sliding across wood. He smiled and didn't check. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more immersive bedtime mysteries every week. And comment below, would you follow the letters or ignore them? Good night.